All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monday Halls Live. We are glad to be here with you tonight. I'm here with my good buddy MT, and we've got some really cool books to share with you. We're talking about I'm gonna have some precious metals books. I'm gonna have a couple new books to share. Should be a nice, fun, breezy episode to whiz through. So I can't wait for us to get started. But before we get started, I just want to make you aware of a couple of things here on the channel. As you know, this is Carl's Collects Comics. I'm glad that you're here. This is a channel that I started because I am a fellow collector that is interested in sharing what I've learned about the hobby with my fellow fans. I love to do that. I love to share stuff I found, cool tidbits, and bring this little crew of people to direct to you, to hang out with you and spend time with you talking about this hobby that we all love. We do this 3 times a week. We've got 3 different shows. Monday Halls Live, Mondays at 10 p.m. That's what you're watching. This is the web series, now on episode 73, sharing the past week to week and a half's worth of comic book pickups. We had a lot of cool books. I went shopping during the holiday weekend. Hope you had a good holiday weekend as well, as we celebrate a amazing real-life superhero, Martin Luther King. Excellent holiday to be able to reflect and to rest and to just connect with family and celebrate the freedom that we all enjoy based on Martin Luther King's work. The giveaway show happens on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Central. That's our time to promote generosity in the comic community. We also cover some of the latest news that is going on in the comic book community. And man, I'm kind of excited because this week we've got some really cool stuff that we're going to be taking a look at. We're going to be talking that new slick Mandalorian poster dropped, and it is just one of the coolest looking things I've seen. I love him holding Grogu like that and firing his blaster and rocketing off. But that's going to be episode number 53 of the giveaway show, happening this Wednesday, 10 p.m. Central. And I've got a cool sneak peek preview of the book that we're going to be giving away, because this week, that's right, it's Booster Gold Week. We're going to be dropping on Friday at 10 p.m. Central for our 3rd video of the week. We're going to be dropping a video, the top 10 Booster Gold comics to add to your collection. This list was a lot of fun for me to put together. I really enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to giving away the Booster Gold themed book on Wednesday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. As you know, James Gunn shared with us that Booster Gold was the most tweeted about superhero that people requested be brought to the new DC film universe. So I can't wait to see if and when that happens and just what that even looks like. But hey, I am glad you guys are here on the channel. If you are new to the channel, make sure and drop a like on this video to help get the algorithm kicking and let all the other subscribers know that we're here. Also, make sure that you share it out. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at Carl's Collects Comics. You can find me there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to be doing so. We just broke 1,100 subscribers, so I think either this Wednesday or the following Wednesday, I'm going to have to share what the big slab giveaway will be for 1,500 subscribers. We're going to be there before we know it. So it's time to get started preparing that, because that'll be our next milestone giveaway when it comes to subscribers. All right, but hey, like I said, this is the Monday Halls Live, our weekly web series, where we're going to go over past week to week and a half's worth of comic book pickups, and we're just about to get started. So I just want to say hey to everybody. What is up, all of you that are here? Hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you're hanging out with us tonight. To the folks that are here, that are waiting and looking forward to it, it's always fun to be with you on Monday nights and just share some of the cool books we picked up. I've got such a random stack right here. It's a short stack, but it's random, so I can't wait to share that with you. Real quick, let me go through here and say hi to those who have got who's left some comments. What's up, Andrew Kai? Good to see. He was here at 10 p.m. on the dot. He said, hey, I'm going to be there, or be square. Jonathan Dotson, what's up? Good to see you, sir. Fort Pete Sake, what's up? Yes, my fellow comic nerds, it is good to be with you tonight. Tricky Trapster, good to see you, sir. Amazing Spider Flint. Hey, everybody, belated happy holiday and new year. You've been traveling, sir. I can't wait. You need to drop me a line on Instagram. Let me know how those travels went. Always good to hear from you. All right. Tony Stank. Oh, yep. Talking about the new Mando trailer. I haven't watched it yet. I just looked at the poster, and man, I can't wait to see the Mandalorian. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right. For Pete Sake, bummed I missed out on today's Heritage auction. Missed a book I'm looking for that went under my max on it. Part of the collecting game, though. Yep, that's how it goes. Sometimes we miss out. I'll need to share with y'all at some point about the Zorro pedigree, the first Zorro pedigree in a CGC 9.2 that I missed out on a Heritage auction. And, oh, man, yeah, it hurt. It's a one of a kind. One of the 2 highest graded copies. But it happens. It happens. And it was within striking distance. I was willing to sell any book in my collection to get it. But yeah, sometimes we miss them. But that's all right. All right, so Amazing Spider-Flint wants to know the book. For Pete Sake, Tony Stink, 11:38. Need to watch it still. Not sure what that means. Okay, guys, we're glad that you're here. Hey, let me go ahead and bring out the real star of the show. Here he is, Mr. MT.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Happy Monday hauls to you all. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Good old MLK. Hopefully some of you got the day off. I don't get holidays myself, so I enjoyed a nice holiday at work. But hopefully you guys had some time off. Maybe the kids were at home. You guys got to do something fun, like read comic books together. Who knows? Who knows? But I see a lot of people already with us tonight. We've got some cool books to show you. Of course, the Postal Service was not running today, so I don't have any cold opens for you. So probably tomorrow will be a heavy delivery day for me. But so I got to dig into the long boxes, and I dug out some books with some very interesting content from a very prolific author when it comes to the creation of comic books. So I'll be super excited to be sharing that with you here tonight. So without further ado, I'm gonna kick back to Carlos and we'll get underway. Thanks for being with us, guys.
Awesome. What's up, Shallow Comics? Good to see you tonight. Hey, Elle Green, it's good to see you as well. Let's see. Sorry I'm late, not sick today. Hey, man, I'm glad that you're feeling better, buddy. But hey, you're not late. We are here and we are getting ready to get going. Wow, for Pete Sake, that is a pretty good price on that book. Man, I'm sorry you missed it, but hey, you know what? There's always another deal around the corner.
That's right.
Spider Flint went to Antarctica. Nice. I'll have to check it out.
That's right. I remember he did say that. I am jealous. I saw the photos, actually. You had them up on IG. They look fantastic.
So I'm going to go ahead and share. I think we're just going to do 2 rounds tonight, guys.
And that is very interesting with my content tonight, that he was in Antarctica. We're going to talk.
Really?
We're going to talk.
I want to hear more about that. All right. So I had a chance to go by comic shops over the weekend and dig through some long boxes and had a lot of fun with that. But I did also pick up a new book. As you know, I've been following Moon Knight. Hasn't been bad. This is number 19 for Moon Knight. This is the A cover. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. But this was kind of a pleasant surprise in my my pull box because I had actually requested to take off all the variant covers. Like I'm dropping all variant covers from all my subscriptions. And I've cut the list back tremendously, but I'm glad that this one made the cut. This is Moon Knight number 19, but this is the Marvel Class variant edition. This is from David Nakayama. This is an homage to Moon Knight number 1, but it's done by David Nakayama using the current characters featured in the Moon Knight comic book, which I think is just really cool. I really like this one, and I'm glad that it made the cut. Also, I went to another local comic shop, or to another branch of the same local comic shop. I'm going to share a couple of books that I picked up there, but then I'm also going to share the bigger stack after that. So I have been on a kick to get to pick up DC Bronze and Copper Age books. That's like my childhood. And so I love to dig through those sections, and I'm starting to expand. I was just focusing on All-Star Squadron and DC Comics Presents. I've got some of those books here tonight as well, but I just on a lark, on a whim, started digging through the Secret Origins line, and that was pretty cool because I came across Secret Origins starring Firestorm. This is Secret Origins issue number 4, and this is definitely a high-grade copy with a nice cover from Al Milgrom. Had a chance to meet him. He is the one of the co-creators of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man. And so just to see that, I just hadn't really paid much attention to Secret Origins other than the Suicide Squad issue, but this was just really cool. Found it, $4, and I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and snag it because I have been, I'd done research on Firestorm because we've got a top 10 Firestorm comics list coming up. I think next month, Firestorm is going to be dropping because I just like her a lot, and I've included him in my top 10 list for DC Comics characters to watch. So this was a cool retelling of the origin. It's got Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein on the cover there. And so I picked that one up. Fun book. Also, there was a second, I think a couple weeks ago I shared that I picked up Firestorm Firestar #1 from the 4-issue limited series. And so I went back, and it was the same shop, and I picked up one copy of #1. Well, they had a second copy that was behind, but I saw it there and decided to I decided to go ahead and just pick it up. Let's see. Oh, hey, what's up, Mr. Collector? I see you in there. Elle Green just tearing up the chat, just saying hi to everybody. Lots of penguins in the snow, says Michael Spider Flint from his trip to Antarctica. And let's see. Yeah, Elle Green is also, he's my man. He's also a Firestorm fan. All right, and then the last one I'm going to share for this round. So I've also, my #1 on my list of the top 12 DC characters to watch. If you haven't watched that video, you really should. Lots of good suggestions for cool books. But one of them on my list, #1 on my list was Zatanna. And so they had a back issue from her, from one of her, I think her most recent run. Just a cool cover on this one, high grade. So I went ahead and picked it up and enjoyed doing that because I am trying, get a few Zatanna books. Surprisingly, they go for I guess not surprisingly, they go for very high. Most of them they're very scarce, and they also go for pretty high on there, which, again, doesn't surprise me because, she's Zatanna and she's awesome. The only problem I have is I can't figure out which 3 Superman books has his origin in the back. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Elle Green is talking about, I think, Firestorm and trying to get his origin. Yeah, so I saw that and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool to find it. His origin is also shared in his own comic in the 2nd volume. I can't remember the number right offhand, but it's one of the top 10 books that I highlighted. So you'll be able to see that video in a few weeks. But like I said, this week I will be sharing my picks for the top 10 Booster Gold comics that you could add to your collection. So it's going to be a fun book. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to MT and see what he's got. MT, what'd you pull out of those long boxes?
Funny enough, I pulled out a Firestorm 1 through 4 as well, because I actually just recently picked up another set of that 4-issue mini, and because it's such a great book. She was on the cartoon, right? Yeah. Spider-Man and Friends. So I'm always a fan, and anytime I see a good quality set, I pick them up. So I've had a couple #1s, but not all 4 issues before.
Nice.
Do you have you had all 4 issues?
I have not. I have passed over them in back issue bins. I have 1 and 4. I have 2 copies of 4, 1 copy of 1 of 1, or no, 2 copies of 1 and 1 copy of 4. So I need to get 2 and 3.
Because issue #1 kind of has a weird cover, and then she's there with Wolverine. But I really like this cover.
Oh yeah, that's oh wow.
Isn't it a striking cover there with the shading in the back?
Oh,
Totally
yeah, very
80s.
striking.
Totally 80s, right? 1980. Boy, I can't read that. 1985. What a seminal year, 1985.
Oh yeah. Oh
Of
my
course, they
gosh.
named the
Yeah.
comic book after 1985, right?
Yeah.
Arthur Adams did this.
That's a great set to pick up.
It's an affordable set, right? It's the first self-titled. She's kind of a little bit of obscure character in Marvel Comics. If you didn't watch the cartoon, maybe you don't even know she existed. But you know me, I love the obscure comics. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm all over that. So I did pull that out. Interesting enough, we were thinking alike there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bought this a while back because it reminded me of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with King Hippo.
Okay, so that's not the same character though, right?
No, this is Crusher from the Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or at least heavily inspired by Crusher from the Bugs Bunny cartoons. I never did open it up to see if they gave credit to Warner Brothers in here, but they might have just totally swiped them right.
Yeah, isn't Warner Brothers tied to DC?
Yeah, their cinematic stuff is for sure. Jean Luen Yang and a Howard Porter cover. But this book is not that old. I thought this was a little bit older, but this has got all modern pages in it. Trying to get you a year here, Jang. I guess it's not that important, but it's got modern printed pages in here. I actually thought it was like from the early 2000s or late 90s, but it's advertising that Arrow show, and that's been on what? It hasn't been on that long. 7 years maybe. Arrow's been on.
Well, no, it's Arrow now is at like 13 years, buddy.
Oh, really? Wow.
Wow. Because think about it. Flash is hitting season 10, the final season, and Arrow predated Flash by 2 or 3 years, I think.
2016, it says. Didn't read the comic, just loved the cover. Thought the cover was awesome. Reminded me of my.
That's a total cover buy.
Here is some great books to be picking up while they're still kind of affordable. We know that Marvel is going to do something with the 90s X-Men cartoon, right? We also have many of the voice actors coming to Pop Culture Power show that you can get these books signed. And so I picked up myself another set of XMen Adventures season.
Nice.
Out of order here, sorry. Season 1. I am out of order. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, season 1, season 2 with Mr. Sinister, and that's what I was trying to remind people the other night when we were talking about this, that Mr. Sinister was a big player in the cartoon series, or the animated series, I guess we should call it, because he went multiple seasons. I can remember my sister liking it. My sister absolutely, who wasn't really into comic books, cursory because she kind of hung out with nerdy guys, but like she absolutely loved the X-Men cartoon animated series. Sorry, don't mean to offend people who make a distinction there. But great books to pick up. Usually you get them pretty affordable, less than like around $20 maybe for issue number 1, less for the other 2. But great books to pick up and send in them, get them signed. Here's another. I've been digging through the long boxes looking for complete sets of this. I found one that looks to be near complete. I've got them like in different boxes all over the place. I need to get them put back together.
Oh, yeah.
Secret Wars 2, where they had the New Mutants there in the back. The Beyonder. And this is the first full appearance of the Beyonder. So if you see issue 3, and look at that totally 80s high shoulder pad, skinny tie suit he's wearing. Does that not scream the 80s to you? But Ben Affleck is returning to Marvel, and he's going to play this character Minotaur or whatever that has some convoluted connection to a variant of Kang the Conqueror, who's going to become the Beyonder. At least that's the talk right now in early pre-production, right? This was a great read, great series. Usually you can pick this up pretty reasonably priced. What version of Iron Man suit is that, Carlos?
Oh man, the Silver Centurion.
The Silver Centurion.
I love that, man. Okay, that suit is my jam right there.
Absolutely, because this is what he wore when I first started reading them too. So.
Yeah. Yep. That was my. I still remember that cover. I forget the issue number, but it was him versus the Living Laser on the cover.
So yeah. Yep. Can anybody in the chat tell me who they modeled the Beyonder after? I'll give you a hint. He's very popular in Germany. Do you know? David Hasselhoff. Don't hassle the Hoff. Supposedly that was the inspiration for the Beyonder.
Really?
I didn't write him. I can't say that for certain, but I have heard multiple people say that. Hot Toys has a beautiful Silver Centurion. Yep, don't hassle the Hoff, indeed. And then, let me make sure I have them all here. 8, 9, because it was a 9 issue, right? Yep. Number 9 in a 9-issue limited series. And 9 is one that, I seem to be missing out of some of my other complete sets. So maybe that had a lower print count. That's why I don't have so many issues of 9. I won't spoil it for you. You can find out who is the Beyonder in the end. Can I see it? The toy, I'm assuming. Okay.
Zardu Hasselfrau.
I mean, they absolutely love David Hasselhoff.
Oh, they do. They revere him over there.
Saint, right?
They revere him.
Okay. Here's another set that I just picked up. And Carlos, just by looking at this, what printing is this?
Okay, so that's either the second or third. I'm gonna go with third printing.
It is supposed to be the second printing, and if you're looking for Thundercats, because it's always been a pop, especially if you can get it in a 9/8, which is very difficult because these were red and beat up, right? Most of these were sold in 3-packs. Okay, they were sold in 3-packs in retailers like Toys R Us, stuff like that, right? The first print has a UPC box. That's how you can know where the what the first print is, right? This should be a second print. And it isn't. Carlos was right. It says right there, third printing. And I was actually really not happy with the condition of this when I bought it. So now I have an excuse to send it back to him after I saw it was no returns. Because these are terrible. I way overpaid for these. In fact, I'm not even going to tell you what.
Hey, no, seriously. Hey, hit me up before you do the trouble of sending them back. Let's you and I talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got issue number 1, number 2, 3. A lot of people don't have beyond issue 1, 2, and 3 because that was sold in a 3-pack, right? So then there were way more of those sold than the rest of them. So there's 4 with the Wanted poster, the Sword of Omens. There's another copy.
Did he send him double bag like that to you?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
He tries to. It was the first. It was issues 1 through 4 that I got from this guy, and then I pulled out the rest of the ones that I have here. There's issue 4, issue 5, Royal Rumble. Looks like a bar fight. awesome cover with Mumra. Thundercats was such a cool concept. It really was a cool show.
And I wonder why it hasn't gotten more traction as far as like a reboot, like a modern reboot goes.
They've been teasing that now for how many years, just like He-Man and everything else. I think that they could pull it off. It would be heavy CGI, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and I really think if they dialed it down just a little bit, they could do it with costume and wardrobe. It would probably be cheaper to make and wouldn't be too terribly hokey.
Well, I think you remember Cats, the abysmal failure Cats. I think that kind of steered people off of the whole feline human thing,
right?
But I mean that's a more recent film. But I still just feel like I think that Cats demonstrates what could happen if Thundercats was not done perfectly.
Right.
It's one of those ones that I think it's got to be executed perfectly for it to work. Otherwise, like
it needs to be heavy science fiction. You really need to go off world with the technology, and if you don't have that, it's just going to be a cat show, really.
Yeah.
Because of how evil Mumra really was, and his depictions, and tied it back to kind of Egyptian stuff was what really made the show. I mean, really, your show's only as good as your villain.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the time, right? And Mumra was a great villain.
He was. He really was. Like he was. Yeah. I mean, he was a serious big bad.
Because he had his like crony conniving form, and then he had his like super roided out form when he would do battle. Skeletor in Two Worlds. Okay, so I'm gonna kick it back over. You said you have another round, right, Connor?
Yeah, I got one more round, and then I'm gonna show.
Because everything else I have here is all tied together in one big theme. So I'll do that all in 1 second.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Hey, guys. So, make sure and hit that like button if you haven't already. To the almost 20 people that are hanging out with us tonight, it is great to see y'all and to be here back from Monday Halls Live, episode number 73. Can you believe it's been that long? Just a quick promo for Wednesday night. This copy of Booster Gold #1, the first appearance of Booster Gold, Skeets, Trixie, and Blackguard. This copy right here at about a 7.0 that does need a press. This is going to be given away this Wednesday night on the giveaway show. Because on Friday night, let me pull it up here real quick. On Friday night, I'm gonna be dropping the top 10 list for the top 10 Booster Gold add to your comic collection, and so that's going to be the focus of this week. So on Wednesday night, we're going to be giving away this copy of Booster Gold #1. His first appearance in a 7.0. And hey, this is a great book to have in your collection, especially with James Gunn tweeting about this undervalued super character. But that's not all I want to show you this round. I've got some other cool books. Speaking of Booster Gold and the top 10 list that I'm dropping on Friday night. All right, Mr. Collector, I see how it is. Hey, Carlos, I won't be on this Wednesday, so I can enter the giveaway.
There you go.
Right, there you go. But yeah, so but here's the other deal. Here's another book that I included on my top 10 list for Booster Gold. This is Justice League #4. This is from that fantastic 80s version. This is when Booster Gold becomes a member of the Justice League. I found this in a back issue bin. Really fun book I wanted to add to my Booster Gold selection. So I'm putting that in there. Also, another character that I included in my top 12 DC comic characters to watch video was Lobo, because I think most of us by this point know that Lobo is going to be a part that he's going to probably be portrayed by Jason Momoa. But this is a really cool two-parter from Justice League International. It's issues number 18 and 19 that I found, with Lobo popping in and causing some trouble. I love these two covers together, and this is kind of the beginnings of when Lobo starts to become the character that we know today, and he really starts to form, just like Deadpool. That, you know, it took a little while for them to start to become what we know of them today. So I'm looking forward. That's what I saw in the research for the video. I'm looking forward to reading these and seeing what I think. I didn't really get much into the Giffen and DeMatteis run, but I'm picking more of those books up. I also know that's James Gunn's. That's a big favorite of his, so I want to look at those and see what's going on during that era of Justice League. Also during that era, Justice League number 20, Justice League America number 27. This is from June of '89. Just an awesome homage cover. Amanda Waller doing her best priest impression from this Exorcist movie cover homage right here. I came across it and I just pass it up, so I wanted to pick it up. I love movie homage covers when they look pretty, when they look cool. So I also dug through another title that I'm digging through. It goes back further than Copper and Bronze Age. This is Showcase Presents, or Showcase. This is issue number 99. Bonus points if anybody in the chat can tell me the significance of this book. Yeah, Mike Bravo, I'm going to have to look at... Yeah, I need to look at action figures for some of these characters. Firestorm, Red Tornado, and Booster Gold especially are three of my favorites.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about McFarlane's action figure line. I'm hearing a lot of good things.
I really haven't seen a McFarlane toy that I haven't liked. Does anybody know what this is? MT, what do you think? Do you know what this one is?
Could be the last Power Girl before the boob window.
This was okay. I'll go with this. This was the so this is this isn't the like he said, the boob window costume yet. This was her original costume, but this is the third part in her first solo story. So Showcase 97, 98, and 99 are Power Girl's first solo story, like outside of like a team book before she got her own miniseries. This was the third part of it, so I've been keeping an eye out for these. When I come across them, I pick them up because Power Girl, I think, is just a fantastic character, and I think I think big chances of her getting utilized, and I included her, I think, in my top 12 DC Comics characters to keep an eye on. All right, so last three books I have to share tonight are three DC Comics Presents books. So one of those is DC Comics Presents number 24. Had to get me some Deadman, Superman, and Deadman teaming up. Deadman is a big character that I think we're gonna see a lot of in the future in media. One of the coolest characters ever, and he's been a part of at least one of my favorite storylines ever, Nightwing Year One, from the 90s Nightwing solo series, issues number 101 through 106. Deadman makes a guest appearance and then teams up with Nightwing. Great story. But here he is teaming up with Superman, so I picked this one up. Looking forward to reading some of these books. This is a nostalgia pick as much as it is knowing that there's value to this book. I remember this book as I think I was like 10 in the Valley, visiting my dad's family down the valley, and they had the local, the Rio Grande Valley, for those who are outside of Texas. I remember the local library had a bunch of comic books that you could go and read and check out. And this was one. It was just such a vivid, striking cover that I remember it from that. This is DC Comics Presents number 41. This is the second copy I've picked up in the past month and a half. This is Superman and the Joker. So this one is much better shape than the one I have. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and snag this one. Joker covers are quite sought after. There's people that collect nothing but Joker covers. But for me, it all came down to the DC Comics Presents. And I just really like this title. I think it's a fun title, and it was DC's version of Marvel Team Up. So I think it's a great way to get Superman interacting with a bunch of different corners of the DC's universe. And last, DC Comics presents number 92, Superman and Vigilante. So I have a copy of the Teen Titans Annual. It's the first appearance of Adrian Chase as Vigilante, and it's signed by Wolfman and Perez, CGC 9.2, I think. And that was the original book was a gift from my brother. So I like to pick up Vigilante books from here and there. I'm also picking up his solo series because Vigilante was a fan favorite from the Peacemaker series. If you haven't watched that show, I highly recommend it because so many standouts. James Gunn's wife, who plays Harcourt, phenomenal actress. She didn't have anything to worry about losing her role, whether she was his wife or not, because she took what could have been a very vanilla character and she just ran with it. So that the Peacemaker series is, I think, some of the best DC content. Language and gratuitous sex aside, and violence aside, it's one of the best DC properties that we've seen since the Christopher Reeve Superman. It's just very well done with these random characters, and they earned the showdown at the end of that one. So I picked up Superman and Vigilante because I want to see how the two of them team up and what that does. So those are my pickups for this week, for this episode of Monday Hauls. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I'm going to pass it back over to MT because he's got one more round of books I think that are all interconnected in and of themselves, and I'm looking forward to seeing what those are. So MT, here you go.
All right, fantastic. I did have a couple more in my stack before I get into my big production here. This is a book that, like, I don't know what it is. It's like some Silver Age books I just constantly seem to own all the time, and it's like the same issue all the time. I'm not quite sure what that is. Me and Mr. Jackal sell copies of this back and forth to one another constantly. I just picked up another copy here from Mr. Edwin Price. I love 2-point perspective cityscapes in my Spider-Man comic. Like, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan. Mr. Jackal gets on me quite a bit, but some of these covers, because this is a John Romita cover, right? But there's something magical about these old Silver Age Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
But this is the first appearance of Donnie Blacko, who is the second Vulture. First appearance. Just a stunning cover. Stunning cover. I've got a new blue light, right? I bought 2 different blue lights that's going to help me brighten old comic books up, right? So this is going to be a great test example because it has a shadow line. See, it's got a shadow line there. But otherwise, I mean, the book is in great shape. Obviously needs a press. Badly needs a press. But I think I could really get this to brighten up. Maybe I'll post it. We'll do a before and after and kind of take a look at how I experiment between these 2 new lights I bought. Anyways, always coming across this. Love this book. I'll probably buy more and more as the time goes on. I got a Ulick book from him. I haven't shown a lot of Thor. I'm a big Thor fan. Thor is one of the biggest collections I have. My Thor and my Avengers are the 2 titles I have the most comic books of. Probably a little bit more Avengers because there's more Avengers out there in the world. This was a cool Dick Ayers book. Fantasy Masterpiece was reprints of different stuff. And what was cool about this is they had all the big artists on the cover. Jolly Jack Kirby, Sturdy Stevie Ditko, the Dashing Don Heck, the Darling Dick heirs, and the Royal Joey Sinnott, right? The old Marvel bullpen, which one of the last surviving members of the Marvel bullpen will be at Pop Culture PowerCon, gang. I know you're excited to go and get your book sent in to get signed. Okay. One more quick one. We're going to do a little pop quiz here. See if anybody can tell me who's the artist who did this cover.
Ooh.
What's interesting about this is, like, I'd buy big collections or I'll buy a box that's all got assorted comic books in it. It is amazing to me how many comics there are about the island of Dr. Moreau from different publishers. And I'm trying to get them all in one place. And of course, I couldn't lay my hands on it tonight, but I probably have 6 different Island of Dr. Moreau issue number 1s from different publishers in different eras.
Really?
Yeah, it is really cool. This is, of course, the famous H.G. Wells story. Interesting side note, if you guys like the Austin Powers movie, remember Mini-Me from Austin Powers?
Mm-hmm.
He was directly spoofing the movie with
yes, Marlon Brando. Yeah.
He's playing the piano. He had his little mini-me up playing the piano. That's where Austin Powers got that spoof from. Directly was from Island of Dr. Moreau. And Val Kilmer was in this. Not this movie, but the more recent telling, right?
Yeah. That movie is. Have you ever watched the documentary for the behind the scenes of that movie?
Nuts.
Dude, yes, like a whole new level.
So this is the Humanimals. The Humanimals. I can't ever pronounce it right. The Humanimals.
So you got the
Humanals.
So you got some guesses.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will say, if I'm talking about a artist, it's probably going to be appearing in Texas here in March. See if we can read that. Second name down, artist.
Are you kidding? Larry Hama?
Larry Hama cover.
What?
A Larry Hama cover. Not too many of those out there in the world. Isn't that cool?
Which one? That's a Marvel movie special?
This is a Marvel movie special number 1 from 1977, volume 1, issue 1. Larry Hama cover. So this is one I'll probably send off for the signature because of how cool it is. Very obscure in the back.
You're not coming.
Cover art. He did the cover art.
MT, are you not coming in for that? I thought you were coming in for the show.
That's yet to be seen. The flights that I looked at have as big of a layovers as if I would drive down there, and I am transitioning now to, we're changing the name of my company so I can become a named partner, and it's a busy year for me because, as you know, my partner is dying of cancer, so I don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, he's in his early 80s, and he's been through months of chemo already, and he's got the cancer you don't get better from. So it's been going to be a busy year for me. Okay, so moving on from that. History of comic books. Let's talk about the history of comic books real quick, right? So really the precursor to the modern comic book was pulp fictions, right? These pulp magazines. And they were very text heavy. Occasionally you had a piece of art in here, but for the most part, or a photograph or something, here's a nice cool piece of art. This is like a wood cutting. But for the most part, they were all just stories that you read. Look at that. You can buy yourself a radio for $2 at Jukebox Radio. This is 1948, so just after World War II. So we did have comic books at this period of time, right? But really the precursor were these dime novels. and I think the earliest one I have here in my hand is from 1930 something. They did have considered comic books in the Platinum era, which is the late 1800s, in the time of Jules Verne. But really, it was kind of these pulp fictions that started to gain a lot more traction and kind of evolved into the modern comic book, because all the other ones used to be really small. They were like flip books type of thing. At any rate, so I want to talk about one of the most prolific science fiction writers that created some of the most iconic American comic book characters, heroes, science fiction gurus, right? And the first character that he created and most well known for was Tarzan. This is Edgar Rice Burroughs. I'm not a huge Tarzan fan. I'll admit that right up front. I do have a lot of Tarzan books, especially Golden Age Tarzan books. I'm not really a big fan of this, but cool concept, right? This is basically the Incredible Hulk story, is Tarzan. Be Tarzan, you Jane. That is in the Incredible Hulk story. You know, the movie with, what was the first Hulk movie? What's the actor?
Incredible Hulk? Oh, Eric Bana?
No, I'm sorry, in the MCU.
Well, yeah, I mean, Eric, well,
No,
yeah, I mean, that one was, I mean, you mean Edward Norton?
Ed Norton. That Ed Norton story was basically Tarzan. Me Tarzan, you Jane. It was the taming of the wild man, which is a story as old as time, right? So at any rate, one of the next things that he, and I'm gonna have to share my screen here for just a minute, so I can get through this quickly. Come on, mouse, cooperate. Okay. There we go. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. Pellucidar. Give it a shot. What do you think? Give it a shot there, Carlos. How would you pronounce that? Pellucidar.
Yeah, Pellucidar. Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Okay. So what this was very influential because it was the Hollow Earth. He came up with this Land of the Lost, Hollow Earth, where this, Savage Land from the X-Men was directly influenced by this. The movie Journey to the Center of the Earth was also about this. And they kind of think that, he made it up by himself, but it's not true. In fact, almost every major religion on the planet, all the mythologies from all the major civilizations have in their mythology a Hollow Earth type story. So he took heavily from the Sumerians, the Greeks all had it. The Tibetans had it with Agartha, right? So if you see this at a yard sale, do not walk past it. They are extremely rare. This is the first ever Pellucidar. At any rate, this is all in the early turn of the century. He created Tarzan in 1912. This shortly after. It was very much this land of the ancient past. It had to do with cataclysm, that you had a culture that rose to success and then got knocked back into the Stone Age, which is going to play into some of the other characters I'm about to talk to you here. But at any rate, if you see these are paperback books, don't pass them by. They are really awesome. She's there with a pterodactyl, right? Just good things to keep an eye out for when you're out and about, or a thrift store that may have something a little bit beyond just comic books. This is something to kind of bridge it out. So, went too far. So let me just go back full screen me here. But I am a bigger fan of Korak, son of Tarzan. Golden Key had these in the Silver Age. They were painted covers. He used to battle bugs in the center of the earth. I really liked Son of Korak because I like the covers. This is the first appearance of Pelasuit. I'm gonna keep watching this. Pellucidar. First appearance is in a DC comic book. All right, so I do own DC comic books. Those who think I don't, right? 52-page spectacular. Very cool book to own. It's issue number 4 of Korak, Son of Tarzan. Okay. So Edgar Rice Burroughs created characters like did I lose my stack? One of his best and one of my favorite was John Carter, Warlord of Mars. This is John Carter, Warlord of Mars' first appearance in DC comic books. It is a very, very awesome book. He started writing in pulp fictions, science fiction pulps, about this whole planet on Mars with advanced technology in the turn of the century, right? So we had Jules Verne that came out in the late 1890s, right? That had the Nautilus and the other journey of the center of the Earth. I did say that backwards. I think Pellucidar was also inspired by Journey of the Center of the Earth. But it all comes from the same Agartha type mythology in human history, right? This is a very cool book. You can pick this up pretty reasonably right now. This book has been expensive multiple times. What did you think of the Walt Disney movie?
For the John Carter one?
John Carter.
To be honest, I didn't watch it. There's so many movies that come out that I can't. I don't watch. I don't even watch movies in theaters the way I used to.
Oh, I don't go to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Go watch John Carter. They should have made a sequel to that. It's actually a really, really good movie. And I am the first person that will tell you I do not like Disney productions, especially current Disney productions. Not a fan. But it is really well done. And the special effects were awesome. It's a movie. Like, I rate a movie if I'll watch it more than once. If I watch it once, I'll never watch it again. It's not a good movie. And I've seen that movie multiple times, and which is pretty rare for me to watch a movie more than once. I thought it was really good. What do you guys think? Did you like it?
It looks like Elle Green and Jonathan Dodson both liked it.
Did you guys like John Carter? And the actor who was the lead in that was a little goofy, but you kind of get used to him, and he's okay. He was in that football Friday Night Lights show.
Wasn't he also? He also played Gambit in the Wolverine, that hideous Wolverine Origins movie.
Did he? Very good, Carlos. Very good. Jonathan Dodson liked it. Elle Green liked it. Okay, so John Carter, Warlord of Mars. This is Marvel's first run. This is another great book to have. I love the artwork in this series. The covers in this were absolutely phenomenal. The stories were great. So we're going to flip through. And I'm glad I pulled this out, because this is another one that I bought where they put both 2 in 1 bag. So I need to go back and rebag these. These are all in pretty decent shape. Some are better than others, but they're about VFs on average. So I might have to look into upgrading this now that I'm thinking about this again. But he wrote so much incredible stuff here. Created so many cool characters, and they all had a shared universe. They were all in the same universe, just different periods of time. So there's 8, and like his creation of the 4-armed green Martians. And this is kind of what I wanted to say when I was sharing the screen here, that like in the early 1900s, why were people so obsessed with space? Telescopes were becoming more commercially available. The famous Man on the Moon was a silent film that was made in France in 1902. Maybe the moon was made of cheese. I'm sure you guys have seen this. It didn't really get wide viewership until the early 1900s. A lot of people didn't see it for many years afterwards before it made it over to America. But super famous, right? Super famous image. And they had the Martians and all the women with the hairy armpits running around. Cool little movie. If you haven't seen it, if you want to see the dawn of science fiction movies, make sure you watch this short film. It's only a couple minutes long. You can get it on YouTube or whatnot, right? I'll click back over. I'm trying to speed up here a little bit. Oh. That's what happens when I share the screen. I think my mouse is one place, controlling another. This particular cover, and I've been trying to figure out if this is the first or if this was homaged of something else, but this cover gets homaged constantly. In the John Carter Warlord of Mars, in multiple other titles, this is a very famous cover that gets swiped all the time. The guys in the blue background. It is a stunning issue. It is the origin of Deja Thoris. Fantastic issue.
So what have they done with her? Because I know there's separate.
They make tons of stuff with her, right?
Yeah, there's. I see a ton of the sexy girl covers that Paul likes to sell. Like I see a bunch of those. So does she have her own adventures now apart from John Carter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deja Thorax. But I mean, awesome artwork, cool concept. They had some like very unique and interesting creatures. The multiple armed apes, the multiple armed bugmen, right? The multiple armed lions. But you didn't know that, huh? The bantha. It was just a really cool, awesome series. Great cover art. Here he is being a pirate. Deja Thoris and Tars Tarkas. Because what's his nose was Tars Tarkas in that movie. The guy who played Green Goblin. Help me out here.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. Look at that cover. Awesome cover. Battle armor. Great series to pick up if you can. If you didn't notice, a lot of these were early Whitman directs. Okay, we're going to move on from that. Speed up here a little bit. So then we're going to transition to this because he was next in the timeline from the beginning of time, I should say. Because Kull the Conqueror was the king of Atlantis. And I believe he came before Conan the Conqueror in Edgar Rice Burroughs' timeline. Kull the Conqueror was an awesome character. He had the tiger sigil. He had tigers on his flag. He was the Tiger King. So I have Kull the Conqueror's first appearance somewhere. I'm not quite sure if I have it in the set. This is the first appearance of Thulsa Doom, who was the big baddie in Conan, played by
James Earl Jones.
In the iconic...
Wait, the iconic what?
I'm sorry. Oh, Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that was like one of the snake transformation.
Right.
Yeah, that was just awesome.
So I like Kull. Kull's a pretty cool character. He had some great comics in Marvel. It's another title that I have yet to fill out, and I need to get back on it again and finish filling this out. But he had his own version of his bikini-clad warrior woman, which was pretty cool. There's a cool Thulsa Doom. And like in the comics, Thulsa Doom had a skull head like Skeletor.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Because that's him there, and then his first appearance, even when he's on the cover. That's his first appearance there, was the skull head. right? So out of that, he also created Conan the Conqueror, right? And I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of Conan the Conqueror, so I don't need to pull that out. But like, the guy was a genius. He wrote some awesome cutting edge sword and sandal stuff before anybody else was doing it prolifically. And its characters are still printing comics about to this day, right? So over 100 years later, we're still cranking out comics with his creations. And then from Conan, we got, oh, I should say, what's this? What's this, Carlos? Anybody in the chat, tell me why is this a key comic? Anybody recognize this comic book? We lost Carlos. Yeah, it was a real shame that it didn't do any better in the box office, but it did really well in secondary market sales. Yeah, he did star in Battleship. You're right. I mean, who doesn't like Deja Torres? Absolutely right, Mr. Collector. Not only does he have good hair, the best hair in the business, my man knows his comics. This is the first appearance of Red Sonja. This is her first cover appearance, The Song of Red Sonja. And I will show you her first appearance in a comic book. She sells tons and tons of paper, right? How often does... oh, there's a Conan book you can look at. Like DC made their own ripoff of Call the Conqueror, was called Claw the Unconquered. So we have Call the Conqueror, and then DC came by and said, well, we're going to do Claw the Unconquered. No ripoffs there. No ripoffs there, right? I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back. We're going to look at Red Sonja here in a minute, but I'm going to show you another character that was a spin-off or a rip-off of John Carter, Warlord of Mars, which was Gulliver Jones, Warrior of Mars. Similar, where they've got, but these guys are red Martians instead of green Martians. So this was a really cool, it was part of Creatures on the Loose, Slaves of the Spider Swarm, Gulliver Jones, Warrior of Mars. This was a really sweet, he was kind of more of a swashbuckling type of guy, right? Still He-Man type character. This one I need a little bit of an upgrade on. But super cool, good read. I love to collect stuff like this. I love sword and sorcery, sword and sandal stuff. I grew up in the 80s. That was like all the rage with sword and sandal type stuff, sword and sorcery. So really cool to have that in my collection. I'm about to show you. And this is the book that one professional comic seller sold me many moons ago, that I'm going to finally build up the courage to clean it, because I do not want to destroy this book. I've been practicing on tons and tons of books to clean this one, and finally to the point where I'm about ready to clean it. It has one of the more harder stains to get out, because otherwise it is like pretty good shape, all things considered. All right, but let's get on to what you really want to see, because everybody wants to see the first time Red Sonja appears in a comic, because you may not own it and you'd like to see it. Where are you, my dear? Or My Name Is Not Red Sonja. And this is before she had her her chainmail bikini. She just had a chainmail shirt, right? So that's her first appearance in comics right there. Great book. Pick it up if you can. Low grade is better than no grade, of course. If you're into sword and sandal, A must own, right? So then she's in that same outfit. She quickly transitions to the chainmail bikini not too long after that. If I can lay my hands on one of these real quick. Yeah. Red Sonja versus Thulsa Doom. Dynamite's been cranking these out. This one's signed. Thulsa Doom in his snake form. We were talking about him transforming into a snake. But at any rate, that's what I got. UPS wasn't delivering today, so I pulled out some of this stuff to kind of give you some appreciation for Edgar Rice Burroughs. He created some great stuff. He's kind of like one of these guys that like they went back because he was successful and tried to tie him into because he had colors, different colors for different races and aliens and beings on Mars. They were trying to like tie this into all kinds of weird stuff, and I looked really hard to find that stuff about that he actually believes some of that stuff. I couldn't find anything substantive about that, so I think it's mudslinging after the fact about this guy. I think he is a prolific author. He helped create the genre of comic books. Very influential in the American comic book market. And they're still printing his stuff to this day, right? So Edgar Rice Burroughs, go back and read some of his original short stories that he did when he created these characters. Well worth the read. Good part of your comic book history. Brought you some interesting covers, some stuff maybe you haven't seen before and may not have in your collection because it's not like Avengers or Captain America or Thor or any of the big ones. So I brought you some obscure but still very popular characters and titles. That you missed this, Carlos, because I think you were out during this.
Yeah, my laptop died for a second.
Where did I put those? Because I showed Call the Conqueror, right? Oh, there you are. We had this is Call the Destroyer, but the original was Call the Conqueror. If I can pull it up here. Call the Destroyer. I think his first appearance was actually called Call the Conqueror. Yes, here it is. Call the Conqueror. And DC would not be undone, and they came up with Claw the Unconquered. Do you think we have a little bit of a ripoff here going on? But DC and Marvel used to do that quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Claw the Unconquered.
I love that.
Isn't that awesome? It's a cool looking book, too. So.
It is.
So at any rate, gang, that's what I got. Anybody got any good question here? Yeah, Pete, I really like those creatures on the loose too. I also showed those while you were out because this is another ripoff of John Carter. Warlord of Mars is Gulliver Jones as the Warrior of Mars. Good old Gulliver Jones, right? But like he, instead of having a red woman, he's got a yellow woman. So it's totally different. You know, but these Creatures on the Loose was a great series, and it went into this. So I got to show you a couple cool first appearances. We saw the first appearance of Red Sonja tonight. We got the first appearance of Thulsa Doom, and I'll pull out the first appearance of Call the Conqueror maybe next time, because I do have that too. I'll just dig that out. They're in magazine size. But at any rate, that's all I got. Short night tonight. Hopefully the post office will be running again next week. So that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. It has been good to hang out with you as always. Make sure and hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, make sure and remember that we are going to be live here on Wednesday night with another episode of the Giveaway Show. It'll be episode number 53. And we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian. The trailer just dropped, and not just the poster, but the trailer dropped, and it is phenomenal. So looking forward to talking over that. We're also going to be talking over some other bits and pieces of comic book news. In addition to some of the great conversation we're going to have and discussion, we're also going to be doing a giveaway. And because this week is Booster Gold week here on the channel, we got Booster Gold number 1. This is a 7.0 plus or minus copy, and it does need a press, but this is going to be the giveaway for this Wednesday night. And then on Friday night, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about Booster Gold, bam, I'm dropping at 10 p.m. Central the top 10 Booster Gold comics to add to your collection. So you're definitely going to want to be here on Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Central, and then you're also going to want to be here on Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. But hey, both of those, just like all the shows here, they stay up, so you are able to catch them on the rewind.
How far away are we from seeing Booster Gold on the big screen?
I'm going to go ahead and say 3.5 years.
Oh, you think it's that far out?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because Superman's going to be the first big one they're going to roll out. The first James Gunn one that they're going to, I think that's going to be the first one they're going to go with. And they're going to finish kind of cleaning the slate, cleanse the palette from what they've got. But I think Booster Gold is coming to the big screen. I think he's right up James Gunn's alley. And I think in the same way that he took Peacemaker from a comedic goofball of a character into a genuine, caring, or a genuine hero that you cared about and completely redeemed the character, I think it's going to be that Booster Gold times 10. So I'm really looking forward. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Also, just another quick thing. A week from Friday, we're going to be doing our first in a new series of videos, a monthly series called Creator Interviews, and we're going to be interviewing a local creator here from the greater Houston area, Joffrey Cotton, who's got multiple projects that have been funded on Kickstarter. Awful Thoughts is one that I've read, and I've compared it to those scary stories that you tell in the dark. Very much that type of anthology series. He's also got Birds of a Feather, End of Man, and his current Kickstarter that's wrapping up right about that time is Roseville. And we're going to be sharing some panels from that, some information. We're going to talk about just independent comic creating, a lot of other stuff. So you're going to want to be here the last Friday night of the month, because that's when we're going to be doing creator interviews, and we should have some other cool ones that I'll be able to announce coming up very soon. So make sure that you don't miss out on that. Hey, it's been great to hang out with you tonight and to get to share some of the books. Oh yeah, more than enough time to stack those Booster Golds. You should already be stacking them now, and especially after the Friday video drops, you'll be able to see some of the books that you should be picking up right now, because they're very affordable. I haven't come across a Booster Gold book that is like over $50 at this point. And even with Booster Gold number 1 spiking, he's a very affordable character and a very cool character. So lots of cool stuff there. But hey, we've enjoyed hanging out with you. Hit that like button, drop a comment below, and make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Lots of cool stuff coming down the pipe. We are excited to say goodnight to you, and we will be seeing you again on Wednesday night. So you guys take care, have a great night, and we've enjoyed it as always. We'll see you next time. There you go, Claw the Unconquered.
Unconquered. And Gulliver Jones.
Right, yeah, there you go. All right, folks, have a great night. We'll see you next time.